Hi, and welcome to episode 31 of the Power 2 Pod. This episode, we're going to look into the front office wars that are happening in college football now. Something that didn't happen, 3, 4, 5 years ago. There were no front offices. And now all of a sudden you have general managers, assistant general managers, just a litany of positions created as college football evolves here. If you look at it now, recruiting's never been more of a focus. And that's not just including the high school ranks. You have entire departments devoted to high school, devoted to junior college, to FCS, to the FBS. You have so many resources now that are focused on recruiting at all levels just to make your team as good as it can be. One of the teams that have absolutely won the front office wars this season is Oklahoma, with them hiring general manager Jim Nagy. Most people know him as the guy that was running the Senior Bowl, and he has decades of experience in scouting roles at the NFL with Seahawks, Patriots, Commanders, Chiefs. He was in NFL front offices for 18 years. He helped construct teams that played in 6 Super Bowls and won 4 of them. Like I said, in the last 7 years, he's been head of operations for the Senior Bowl, where he oversaw the identification and recruitment of the top NFL prospects to be invited to the game, which has kind of become the marquee scouting event for the college players going into the NFL draft. According to Oklahoma, Jim Nagy will be in charge of roster building, player evaluation, recruiting, and compensation. So, what does that mean? I mean, it means Jim Nagy's kind of in charge of everything. He still reports to Brent Venables, the head coach, to, see how or what kind of players Brent Venables is looking for. But it's going to be Jim Nagy's job to go find those players, the style he wants to play, evaluate those players at all levels, high school, Division III, Division II, FCS, FBS, Power 5, Group 5, every player is going to be evaluated basically, recruiting, all levels. And then he's also going to be in charge of compensation, so revenue sharing, NIL. So you look at Jim Nagy, you're going to be looking, he's probably going to build an NFL-style front office that will heavily scout high school and current college players. And like I said, he's going to be in charge of the financial aspect of it too, which that's the name of the game anymore. You have to have a head coach, an administration, and a front office all on the same page nowadays. If you don't have a front office, an administration, and a head coach all on the same page, you're not going to get very far in today's college football. And Oklahoma, with this hire of Jim Nagy, I mean, it's the one guy whose name wasn't out there. That's an absolute home run hire. Like, you could not pick a better guy in the college football stratosphere that would be a better general manager than Jim Nagy. He has all the contacts. He's been, in charge of recruitment for the top scouting event for the NFL with the Senior Bowl, and he's been there, done that. Like, he's built NFL rosters that have won Super Bowls, and he's also kind of familiar in that NIL game too. So, I mean, that's going to be his weakest point, is going to be the NIL, but I have no doubt that Jim Nagy will be able to adjust to that, and especially with revenue sharing coming aboard this summer as well. But if you're looking at who won the front office hiring wars of this offseason, it's 100% Oklahoma. You could not have done it better than hire Jim Nagy. If you're looking for another winner of this cycle for front office, look no farther than USC when they hired general manager Chad Bowden from, their rival Notre Dame, who just helped build the team that finished second and lost in the national championship game to Ohio State. Kind of came out of nowhere, They hired him away from Notre Dame, where he was in the same role. He was general manager with Marcus Freeman. So what USC has done this offseason is completely revamp their player personnel department, with Bowden leading the way. So Bowden brought in the player personnel director Zaire Turner from Notre Dame, which is kind of second in command. He brought him over from Notre Dame, also brought in the director of player personnel, Dre Brown, from Illinois. So basically, the head guy at Illinois comes over to USC. And the director of player personnel, Max Steinecker from Wisconsin, brings him over to USC too. So if you're looking for the most well-rounded front office in the country probably right now is probably USC. Top end, Oklahoma probably has the best general manager in the country, and USC right now probably has the best overall front office in college football right now. The vision under Bowden and the retooled personnel staff could not be clearer, according to a statement made by USC. USC is going to focus its recruiting efforts on Southern California high school prospects. So they're going to go back to the Pete Carroll days when they were winning the national titles and a perennial top 5 team every season. They're going to go back to owning the state of California. Easier said than done, but that's what USC's been missing since Pete Carroll left, is they haven't been locking down the state and getting the best prospects. If you look, it's Texas, it's Florida, it's California. If any one school can lock down a state with the high-end quality prospects, they're going to be on the national championship radar. This move isn't going to pay immediate dividends. You got to give them some time, so I don't see them being, in that national championship discussion this season. But USC is building it from the ground up, basically, behind the scenes. As we've seen Lincoln Riley, there's differing opinions on how good of a head coach he is. But as you can see, if you look at the entire body of work, he has completely reworked this entire staff at USC from the ground up. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of infrastructure there that was carried over. So this is completely rebuilt. And another statement made by USC's Chad Bowden was, they're going to major in high school and minor in the portal. So most teams, as you see, that are winning, Ohio State, they say they went and bought their team. They only brought in 7 or 8 guys from the transfer portal. So it wasn't like that team was built in the transfer portal. If you're winning national titles, it's built through high school recruiting, and you fill in the gaps with the portal. And that's going to be USC Chad Bowden's plan too, is he's going to major in high school recruiting, lock down the state of California, try to get those kids stop going to Oregon or Texas or Alabama or Georgia, keep them in-house. And, like way back in the 2000s when you had the state of Miami, when Miami is winning everything, it's because they locked down such a fertile recruiting ground. USC has the same opportunity. If they can get their NIL in order, which everything points to that being better, they now have the front office set up there. USC is set up for success, basically, if they can lock down the state. You don't have to get every guy, but you have to get most of them. So this is the new college football that we're living in. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, there wasn't general managers and all this. You were just recruiting high schools. And, if you transferred, you had to sit out a year. College football has completely changed. And this is, if you don't have a front office, you're behind. So if you're looking at teams like Penn State, they don't have a quote-unquote general manager. Are they fully aligned, though, from administration to coaching staff to the university? Yes. So I don't think there's any danger there, but I do think they're going to have to evolve a little bit, as is, Michigan just hired a general manager, or has a general manager as well. You're going to see all these teams go to an NFL-style front office with a general manager that's going to handle all the player stuff. And takes a lot off the head coach, so they can go into recruiting mode. They don't have to worry about the NIL stuff as much, and the GM frees them to go back to being head coaches. So it takes a lot of load off of these coaches now. But the stronger your front office, the stronger that you can build the infrastructure, the better your team's going to be and compete for a national title. That's all I got for this episode here on the Front Office Wars. I'm going to try to do episodes here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday going forward in the off season. Just little quick episodes like this. So follow, review, and hope to see you later on. Thanks. Bye.